I'm 43, and my wife, let's call her Megan, is 40. We've been married for 16 years and have 2 kids, a 14-year-old daughter and a 9-year-old son. Our marriage didn't start off easy, but we pushed through those rough patches and came out stronger, or so I thought. We tied the knot pretty young, probably before we were fully mature, but I always believed our love was enough to get us through anything. Looking back now, I wonder if that was just wishful thinking. Megan's been a manager at a big advertising firm for the last 3 years, and I've been working as an engineer for about 7. We're both doing well financially, and that gave our family a pretty comfortable life. We've always been tight-knit, the kind of family that makes time for each other, especially for the kids. I thought I was doing a good job as a dad and a husband. That's why it hit me so hard when I found out Megan had been having a long-term affair, especially after the efforts I made, even with the mistakes on my end. Things really started to shift about 2 years ago. Megan grew distant. Cold, even. She kept comparing me to her boss, praising how he did things, how he took initiative, planned date nights, made his wife feel special. Apparently, I wasn't doing any of that, at least not in the way she needed. I tried talking to her about how to improve things between us, asking her what she wanted, how I could bring back the spark. But all she gave me were vague answers like, "You should already know." So I did my homework. I bought books. I read up on how to reignite intimacy and improve communication. I tried putting all that into practice. But no matter what I did, she seemed disappointed. And the whole time, I had no idea that someone else was already fixing things for her. We were actually close with her boss and his family. We did barbecues, family get-togethers, outings with the kids. I even confided in him about some of the struggles Megan and I were going through, thinking he was a good guy, someone who could offer advice. The irony of that still stings. One night, Megan was laughing and texting someone while we were in bed. When I tried to glance at her phone, she snatched it away like a teenager hiding something. That was my first real gut punch. I asked her the next morning, straight up, if she was seeing someone else. She got angry, defensive, said I was being paranoid. But my gut told me different. I couldn't get into her phone at first, but eventually, I managed to access it. She had deleted most of the messages, but not all of them. Some threads were out of context, incomplete, but there were just enough scraps to piece together the truth. She was having an affair. And with him, her boss. I didn't confront her right away. I was gutted, and I needed to think. I was torn up inside, mostly thinking about how this would affect our kids. I didn't want to just blow everything up without trying to salvage it. So, a few days later, I bought a book called How to Help Your Spouse Heal from Your Affair. Yeah, I still had some hope, believe it or not. I planned to talk to her about it on Saturday. But then she said there was an emergency at work and vanished for the weekend. She didn't come home until late Sunday, acting sketchy as hell and dodging any questions I asked. That's when I reached out to someone I never thought I'd contact, his wife, Amanda. She was just as blindsided as I was. We agreed to start digging and see what we could find. I kept tabs on Megan. Amanda did the same with her husband. And it didn't take long to find undeniable proof. Her husband wasn't even trying to hide it, his texts were all there, untouched. That helped everything I'd seen on Megan's phone make sense. They'd been at it for 2 years. Amanda and I were livid. The betrayal, the lies, the smugness. They'd slept together in hotels, at work, even exchanged photos. Amanda and I refused to look at those pictures, some things you can't unsee. We didn't want to get even by cheating ourselves. We weren't going to stoop to their level. But we wanted justice. So we quietly filed for divorce, separately but at the same time. Either of them saw it coming. Once we had everything lined up, we let them fall right back into their usual routine. When they planned another one of their little weekend escapes, we were ready. Amanda and I knew the hotel, the time, everything. I showed up with a sheriff at the hotel lobby. Megan was called down from her room, wearing a bathrobe. She looked surprised, confused. The sheriff asked her name, and once she confirmed it, She was served the papers right there on the spot. She was stunned. Absolutely stunned. She grabbed my arm, demanding to know what was going on. I just told her the truth, about the affair, and that I was done. Simple. She freaked out, tried to stop me, yelling and crying. The sheriff had to step in and tell her to let me go. I walked out. Later, she told her boss, and apparently he lost it too. Amanda had arranged for him to be served at home the same day. We didn't give them a moment to regroup. Now, both Megan and her boss are scrambling, trying to stop the divorces. They're claiming they didn't really want to lose their families. But the damage is done. We caught them. We blindsided them, just like they did to us. What I kept hearing was that neither Megan nor her boss ever intended to leave their families. According to them, it was a clean affair, whatever the hell that means. Just a little detour, nothing serious. People have been through worse and still managed to salvage their marriages, they argued. They screwed up and just wanted a shot at fixing things. I asked Megan what she thought would come out of all this, and she said she was just going with the flow. That's not her. Not even close. I called her an idiot. Now I've got people in my life giving me grief for not giving her another chance. My kids, they know, age appropriately, and while they've got my back, they still wish their mom and I could work it out. That breaks me a little. It really does. My resolve's been slipping lately. We're still under the same roof, and Megan's trying. She's in therapy. She's even reading the book I bought when I still had hope we'd recover from this. She keeps saying she's remorseful and willing to do whatever it takes. I keep telling her she's just sorry she got caught. That's all I need to know. She once called me bitter. Said I was too resentful to see past the darkness. Later, she apologized, but it felt like she just said what she really thought and then backtracked. Deep down, I know that's how she truly feels. Megan absolutely hates that I still talk to Amanda, her boss's wife. She thinks I'm having some kind of revenge affair, or that Amanda's the reason I won't consider reconciliation. She's begged me to cut off contact, just like she did with her boss. I told her she's out of her mind. Amanda and I didn't do anything wrong, so why should I listen to Megan now? The truth is, I think I'm done. I don't respect her anymore. She hasn't given up though. She still tries to talk to me, to explain her reasons, her state of mind, during the affair. I don't listen. I just see them as excuses. She wants us to go to therapy together. I've read too many stories where the therapist ends up blaming the person who was cheated on, and I'm not signing up for that. No way. She also wants me to read infidelity books with her. But what's the point if we're heading for divorce anyway? She says she wants to be with me. That this isn't manipulation, it's her trying to show her love. I told her straight up. Love me now? Where was all this before? Even my mom's on my case now, telling me people make mistakes. That maybe this is how Megan finally realized how much she loves me. I keep telling everyone the same thing. I'm not a fallback plan. I'm not someone you cheat on and then circle back to when you realize the grass wasn't greener. I feel guilty sometimes. The way I treat her, it's cold. And yeah, I still love her. But there's hate too. I don't know if I'm being unnecessarily cruel. She's trying hard, but I just don't care anymore. Should I reconsider the divorce? Some people say I'm rushing things. That I'll regret it. I honestly don't know what's real anymore. Thanks for all the support, folks. Right now, Megan and I are in a decent place, but that doesn't mean we're getting back together. I'm still going through with the divorce. The affair went on too long for me to ever be okay with it. If it had been a one-night thing, maybe there'd be room to heal. But 2 years? That's not a mistake. That's a whole other relationship. I've gone to a few therapy sessions with her, not because I want to save the marriage, but because I'm not a monster. I still love her, in some broken way. One of the sessions actually helped. It gave me insight into her remorse. She's trying. She really is. But the second session? It was awful. She lost it over the fact that I still talk to Amanda. She's terrified I'm gonna sleep with her out of spite. We had the biggest fight since this all started. She wanted me to cut Amanda off completely. I refused. Eventually, I told her, "No, there's no revenge affair. I promise you that. Not because I owe her, but because I made vows once, and I still honor my own integrity, even if she didn't." I've gone to more sessions just to track Megan's progress. Yes, the therapist works with both individuals and couples. No, I'm not doing it to fix our marriage. I'm just making sure she's moving forward, and I'll stay involved until the divorce is finalized. After that, I'm out. Amanda's still pushing for her own divorce. Her husband's resisting it, but she's as determined as I am. We talk now and then, especially when the weight of this all gets heavy. She's strong. She doesn't take crap from anyone. And no, it's not romantic. We're just two people who got blindsided by the same betrayal. The kids are doing okay. They know we love them. They don't want a divorce, but they understand it's what's best for everyone. Megan doesn't work at that agency anymore. She quit after the whole thing came out. Says she hasn't spoken to her boss since. She's been on forums, reading, trying to get advice on saving a marriage. I've read a lot too. At first, I didn't get why anyone would stay with someone who cheated. But now I understand the temptation. Megan's not evil. She's human. Flawed. She made terrible choices. But she's trying to grow from them. She's offered everything, literally everything, for another chance. But with the divorce right around the corner, I still don't know if that's something I can give. Lately, I've been feeling a little more at peace. Megan and I recently talked about the idea of her asking for another chance after the divorce. She even offered to sign a postnup. I didn't shut it down completely, but the truth is, if we ever did try again, it would be one hell of a long, uphill road. And honestly, a big part of me wants this divorce just for the sake of justice. It's the only kind I can get without lowering myself to her level and becoming a cheater too. Things with my mom have settled down. We made up after I shared more about Megan's affair, details I hadn't told her before. But now that she knows the full story, she's absolutely furious. Managing her anger has become its own challenge. As for a revenge affair, I wasn't planning to post about this until the divorce was final. But today I'm just angry. And I need to let it out. Here's the thing, Megan is practically losing her mind over the idea that I might sleep with Amanda, the other betrayed spouse. Megan's terrified of it. She can't stop obsessing over it. The reason? Amanda's younger, stunning, owns a successful business, and, according to Megan, makes her feel insecure in every possible way. It honestly blows my mind that Megan had the audacity to lecture me about how two wrongs don't make a right. Like, seriously? Of course she's technically right. I'm not planning on cheating. I never have. But hearing that from her, after everything, is just laughable. Every time I visit Amanda, Megan gets weird. Sad. Clingy. She throws herself at me like she's trying to seduce me just to keep me from doing what she did. I always push her away. It only makes things worse, but I'm not going to fake intimacy just to make her feel better. The selfishness of cheaters still stuns me. They destroy everything, and then cry about their pain while we, the ones they hurt, have to hold ourselves together. Our kids still hang out with Amanda's kids. And every time I go over to Amanda's place, I bring our kids with me. Megan still thinks I'm going to use it as an excuse to jump into bed with someone else. Like I'm just waiting for an opening. It's insane. Meanwhile, her boss, let's call him Tom, is holed up in their vacation house, begging Amanda to take him back. I won't lie, it's incredibly satisfying to see that guy squirm. He hasn't dared say a word to me. He knows I've got too much on him. He visits his kids, sure, but only when he's certain I'm not around. Pathetic. As for Megan, she's been acting extra apologetic lately. Always trying to hug me, kiss me, do the things she used to never bother with when I actually needed it. But I'm not in a good place, and I've been ignoring it all. We've got another therapy session today. And I'm planning to unload everything I've been carrying, every ounce of pain, hurt, and rage. It's eating me alive. So, we had that therapy session. Megan asked for more time. Not to reconcile, at least not yet, but to show she's serious about rebuilding something, even if it's just the start of healing. She had a list of reasons why I should at least give her the chance to try. I pushed back hard. I reminded her that she's only trying now because everything fell apart. If she was still sneaking around with Tom, none of this effort would be happening. I told her how she emotionally mistreated me for months, how I felt invisible and unwanted, and that I'm done letting her walk all over me. To her credit, she owned up to it. She apologized again. Said she'd do anything, literally anything, to try and make things right. She believes we could come out of this with a stronger marriage. I don't know if I believe that, but she seems to. I asked her if she was ready to deal with my rage. I mean, all of it. She said yes. That I could let it out, no matter how messy or painful it got. She wanted me to express what I'd been holding in. Usually, when I've asked her why she cheated, I get 1,000 half-baked excuses. But this time, she didn't deflect. She said there was no excuse. That what she did was wrong, full stop. She promised me that from now until the end of her life, she'd prove through actions, not words, that she's truly sorry, and that she'd never, ever betray me again. She opened up a bit more than usual. Told me she's always felt insecure. That seeing me spend time with Amanda makes her feel inferior. The affair, according to her, made her feel beautiful and wanted again. She called it a fantasy, a stupid one, that gave her a temporary high but left her full of regret. She said she'll probably never forgive herself. That no matter what happens between us, she'll always carry the shame of what she did. She even admitted she could never match Amanda in her mind. That all those fears about me cheating back are just projections of her own guilt and insecurities. Amanda, by the way, has never once said a cruel word about Megan. Never threatened her. Never gloated. It's all been in Megan's head. Toward the end of the session, the therapist asked me a question: what would it take for me to even consider Megan's offer? And honestly, I had no answer. I told them I needed a time machine. Because what I really want is to go back and stop all of this before it ever happened. What I've got now is a marriage in name only, a shell of what we once had. This isn't what I signed up for. In one of our last therapy sessions, the therapist said something that really caught me off guard. She told us that every marriage goes through hard times, and that how couples deal with those hardships defines the strength of their bond. I told her flat out to focus on Megan, not us. She was the one who cheated, not me. The therapist pushed back, saying my unwillingness to hear that kind of reasoning might actually be a sign of deeper communication issues. I didn't argue, I just sat with it. Let it sting. On the drive home, Megan and I had a long conversation. Out of nowhere, she asked me if I felt emasculated because of her affair. The question stunned me. I said yes. Without skipping a beat, she followed up with something even more surprising. Would you feel better if you slept with someone else? I told her no, I'm not wired that way. I'm not looking for some revenge hookup to even the score. She clarified, she wasn't talking about revenge. She was talking about a trial separation, where I'd be free to see other people, rebuild my confidence, and she'd stay faithful, waiting for me to come back when I was ready. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I asked her how the hell that would help save a marriage. How would both of us sleeping with other people fix anything? She said it wouldn't be cheating, at least not on my part, because we'd be separated and I'd have her blessing. I shut that idea down fast. It just felt off. Especially coming from her. Even though I don't fully trust her anymore, she's been oddly calm and patient these past few weeks. Like she's a different person than the insecure, defensive version I've known for years. She says she doesn't want the divorce, but she's been generous with the terms, shockingly so. That's made everything even harder to navigate. Before I go further, I just want to thank everyone who's been supporting me through this. Right now, Megan and I have agreed to be civil and spend one last holiday season together for the kids. It's for them. Not for us. I love them too much to let this mess poison their memories of the holidays. The divorce will be finalized in mid-February. For those wondering, we've split everything down the middle, 50-50ths. Megan's been generous, which has raised some red flags, but so far she's stuck to her word. She told me she's doing it because I've been a good husband and father and deserve a fair outcome. Honestly, she won't lose much, but I'll end up slightly ahead thanks to her terms. I've stopped therapy with her. I realized it was feeding false hope. She's been trying to be physically close again, understanding that part of my pain is tied to how emasculated I felt after what she did. She's been surprisingly forward with affection, something she rarely initiated before. And yeah, a part of me appreciates her at least acknowledging that. But I still turn her down. She swears it's not about trying to win me back, it's just about wanting me to feel wanted again. To feel good in my own skin. I've temporarily cut off contact with Amanda. Things between us were starting to blur. She admitted she had feelings for me and was willing to wait until the divorce was finalized. I told her I needed space to figure things out. It wasn't fair to either of us otherwise. Despite what some might think, Amanda's decision to leave Tom had nothing to do with me. She was already done with him before we ever had our first real conversation. And when we've talked, it's never been about trashing our exes. Just two people helping each other survive the wreckage. Tom actually apologized to me recently. In person. I didn't accept it. Maybe that makes me petty. I don't care. I'm not ready to care about his healing journey. He can live with the fallout. One question's been eating at me, though. Is it wrong to be physically close with Megan even though we're still divorcing? I miss the intimacy. Not just sex, but that connection. And Megan, she's been putting in the effort. Trying new things. Saying she just wants to make me feel good, not win me back. She even got rid of anything that had ties to Tom, without me asking. Said she didn't want me imagining them together every time we were close. Still, I can't flip the switch. I can't unfeel what I felt. And some days, it's hard to resist her. I'm scared this is some kind of trap. That I'm being played again. Before anyone suggests I kick her out, I tried. But for now, it's easier to have her stay until the divorce is final. Less disruption for the kids. It finally hit me. For the longest time, I thought I wasted years of my life on a woman who didn't deserve me. But now, I'm realizing something else. She gave me two incredible kids. Beautiful memories I won't forget. And maybe that's enough to say it wasn't all a waste. But I also understand now that I can do better. When another man showed her some attention, she dropped everything and gave him the version of her I never got. She invested all her time, all her energy into him. And now? Now that I'm done? Now she wants to bend over backward to keep me. Now she's adventurous in bed. Now she wants to make me feel like a king. But where was that effort when it could have saved us? I've read enough of her old messages with Tom to know I only scratched the surface of their relationship. The parts one did see were explicit. Graphic. Things she never did with me. And yet here she is, acting like I'm the only man she's ever loved. She says she's changed. That she sees me now. That I matter to her in a way I never did before. Sometimes I look at her face and all I see is shame. Hopelessness. Like she knows she lost something valuable, and no matter what she does, she can't get it back. It's hard not to feel something when I see that. But I have to remind myself, this is necessary. The way I act now, the boundaries I've set, they're not cruel. They're survival. And still, I ask myself, why can't I see her remorse as a good thing? Why does it all still feel like too little, too late? Sometimes I catch myself judging Megan's remorse, wondering if I'm being too harsh. I mean, plenty of people have gone through long-term affairs and somehow come out stronger. Right. So why am I making decisions based on emotions instead of cold, rational objectivity? Part of me worries that someone else is going to get the improved version of her. That after everything I went through, she'll hand the best of herself to another man, while I stumble through a new, uncertain relationship from scratch. Why not fight for this? when everything she's doing now suggests she's changed? I've asked myself that question over and over. And I keep coming back to the same answer. I won't accept disrespect. Maybe I was willing to once, in the early days of discovery. But I snapped out of that fast. So this is for all the folks who've been following along, asking how I've been holding up. I'm spending this Christmas with my entire family, then I'm moving on for good. I've finally stopped listening to the excuses I made up in my own head that let Megan maintain power over me. I'm done with the idea of her. I'm not dating her. I'm not giving us another shot. We're over. Completely. I've always said Megan isn't a villain, and I still believe that. I genuinely want her to find happiness. Just, not with me. That chapter's closed. I actually reached out to Amanda, the other betrayed spouse, and asked if she'd like to grab dinner sometime after the holidays. Just as a thank you. For being there when I hit rock bottom. She said yes. I know people are going to assume we've been plotting this connection from the start, but I swear, nothing could be further from the truth. My emotions were so fried for so long that the idea of dating someone, anyone, was the last thing on my mind. This is just dinner. Nothing more, unless it naturally becomes something else. Who knows? As for Tom? I don't give a damn what happens to him. I'm not wasting brainpower on that guy. Will I ever get married again? Probably not. I'm not saying never, but it's not on my radar. This whole experience has shown me just how fragile that institution can be. Maybe that's the cynicism talking, but it's how I feel right now. Yeah, my divorce wasn't an all-out war, but it still cost me. Financially and emotionally. And at the end of it, I'm left wondering if the return on investment was ever worth it. I gave Megan my best years. I really did. And I'm only now realizing just how little I got back. It's official. I'm divorced. 3 weeks ago, Megan and I finalized everything. For a few days after that, I mourned hard. It felt like losing someone who used to be part of my soul. I cried more than I've cried in years. I got angry too. Rage, grief, all of it, it came crashing down. But now, things are stable. For the kids' sake, everything has been organized. Megan's moved out and into an apartment. It's a major downgrade for her, and I know it's taken a toll. She's still in therapy. Still reading all the books about infidelity and remorse. I'm not sure why she keeps at it. Maybe it's guilt. Maybe it's her trying to rebuild herself. We've had a lot of long talks, especially in the lead up to the divorce, but physical contact has been minimal. I know I shouldn't keep entertaining these moments of connection. But she's the mother of my children, and I want us to be good co-parents. At the very least, I'm trying to stay logical and grounded. She still says she wants to reconcile. I've told her I don't think I can ever take that risk again. She hurt me too deeply, and I'm not ready to hand her that gift. Not now, maybe not ever. This past weekend, Amanda and I had that dinner. There were no expectations. Just two people sharing a meal, talking about life. But somewhere along the way, things shifted. It got flirty. Honest. Vulnerable. By the end of the night, it turned into something more, something passionate. Probably the most incredible intimacy I've ever experienced. I won't go into detail, but let's just say Amanda is very generous, and I finally understood what I'd been missing all those years. I didn't expect it. Neither did she. But we were both willing. We didn't plan for it, it just happened. And for once, I didn't feel guilty. I wasn't cheating. I hadn't broken any vows. I didn't stoop to revenge. I was free. I don't know if anything serious will come out of this. Amanda says she's open to something more. I'm still undecided. We both need time to heal and figure out what we really want. But I can tell you this much, I feel good. Confident. Desired. Like a man again. Some people might not like hearing this, but that night did more for my self-esteem than any therapy session ever could. I finally get it. I will never settle for robotic intimacy again. I want passion. Mutual effort. Love that feels like love. And more than anything, I'm proud of how I handled this storm. I wasn't perfect. But I held my ground, stayed honest, and did my best. That's all anyone can do. Looking back, I realize I came out of this a lot luckier than many betrayed spouses. Yeah, I lost a good chunk of money through the process, but in the grand scheme of things, it was worth it. Why? Because I listened. I absorbed advice. I paid attention to people who'd already been through this hell, instead of going in blind and just hoping for the best. Here are my biggest takeaways. Respect yourself. Seriously. Never accept disrespect, not even from the people you love the most. Everyone deserves a healthy, fulfilling relationship. If your partner isn't giving you that, especially if they stop trying during or after an affair, don't tolerate it. You don't have to settle. A committed relationship should have satisfying intimacy. If that part of your marriage is dead and your partner isn't making an effort to fix it, speak up. You deserve better. And if they don't meet your needs, walk away. Don't agree to a boring, one-sided connection just because it feels familiar. Communication is key. It sounds cliché, but it's the truth. If you've been betrayed, only you can truly heal yourself. No one else can do it for you. It took me longer than I'd like to understand that. There's more I could say, but those are the lessons that matter most. I'll stick around and answer some comments for a few hours, but after that, I'm logging off. It's time to move forward. Wishing you all peace. I've been intentionally avoiding anything related to infidelity content lately. It still triggers me sometimes, and I'm focused on healing and staying present. I'm doing okay. No disappearing acts, no breakdowns. I'm still here. And yes, I'm still with Amanda. She's no longer just the other betrayed spouse. We've become something real. She handled her own situation with Tom with maturity and grace. No revenge games, no spite. Just clean closure. She managed custody and finances like a pro. There's still tension with the kids, though, which we expected. So we've started therapy to help them adjust and understand that our relationship doesn't make them any less important. It's been a process. Not everyone's fully on board. My daughter, let's call her Riley, and Amanda's daughter haven't exactly hit it off. There's tension there. Riley's still struggling with everything that happened. Meanwhile, Megan keeps reaching out. Still asking for a second chance. She's convinced Amanda's the reason I won't reconcile. At a 4th of July party, she even tried to cross a line physically. I shut it down immediately, but it's clear she hasn't let go. And yes, she absolutely hates Amanda. I really thought Megan was changing. But ever since I left, she's been all over the place. Desperate for attention. It's confusing. She treated me like garbage for 2 years, but now that I've walked away, she can't seem to let me go. Part of me wonders if I should feel angry about that. But honestly, I just feel tired. And here's the real heart of the matter. I'm worried about Riley. For those who haven't followed, here's the short version. Megan had a 2-year affair with her boss, M. During that time, she emotionally abused me, constantly compared me to him, and killed whatever intimacy we had left. For a while, I blamed myself. When I finally found out the truth, I made the choice to divorce her. Amanda, who was married to M, was going through the same thing. We teamed up. We gathered evidence. We confronted them. And we walked away. We told our kids the truth, just enough, in an age-appropriate way. They handled it as well as we could have hoped. Better than most, honestly. Megan pushed hard for reconciliation. I couldn't do it. I forgave her, for me, but I never forgot. I moved on. Amanda and I developed a relationship over time. It started as mutual support. Then it became something more. She saved me in ways I don't think she even realizes. I keep the lines open with my kids. My 10-year-old son likes Amanda. My 15-year-old daughter, Riley, is still adjusting. She wants me to be happy, but she's cautious. She's thoughtful. Smart. We talk about healthy relationships, and I've been honest with her about what went wrong. Everyone's in therapy now. Even M, from what I've heard. But the real heartbreak? Riley and Megan. Their relationship has been fractured. Riley's angry. She tells her mom, straight up, that she hates her. She blames her for everything, for the divorce, for the disruption, for the pain. And Megan? She's trying. She wants to rebuild their connection. She even asked me for help. I could have thrown her infidelity back in her face. Could have told Riley she had every right to be angry. But I didn't. Because as much as I resent Megan, I'll never use my kids as weapons. I'll never be the reason they lose a relationship with their mother, even if she was a terrible wife. So I'm doing the hard thing. I'm helping them rebuild. Not because Megan deserves it, but because Riley does. I've made the choice not to throw Megan's infidelity in her face when it comes to our daughter, Riley, but it's left me with some lingering doubts about how I've handled everything overall. Here are the things that still weigh on me. Riley doesn't respect her mom. Not really. She says she hates her, wishes things could go back to how they were before. But she doesn't know the full extent of how Megan mistreated me during the affair, emotionally, mentally. Riley's still in therapy, and while I think it's helping, I'm not entirely sure it's giving her the tools she needs. I worry she feels voiceless or overwhelmed. She handles things like a champ on the outside, but I wonder what she's burying deep down. And yeah, sometimes I wonder if divorcing Megan hurt my kids more than it helped. That maybe, despite everything, staying would have been less traumatic. Any advice is appreciated, honestly. I want to give a real update, not some fantasy. Everything's perfect now kind of story. So, how are Amanda and I doing? The truth? We're doing incredibly well. If I had known a woman like her existed, I'd have gone looking a long time ago. Okay, joking aside, our relationship is the healthiest and most loving I've ever had. And honestly, I didn't even know what a truly good relationship felt like until Megan put me through hell. There were moments early on when I still doubted myself. But Amanda's been so patient, so kind, so solid. She's shown me, over and over, what it means to be loved for real. And yeah, I'm absolutely in love with her. We're still taking things slow. I'm not ready to think about marriage again, and she respects that. We've kept our relationship low-key and haven't involved the kids too heavily, although they know we're dating now. As for the kids? It was rough in the beginning. Really rough. But we made it work by being present. By listening. By making sure every one of them had someone to talk to, therapists, family, each other. There's been a lot of therapy. But it's paid off. My son and daughter love Amanda. She's got a gift with kids, and they can feel it. And her daughters? They've warmed up to me a lot more than I expected, especially her youngest. At a school event a couple weeks ago, she introduced me as her stepdad. It caught me off guard. I asked her later if someone told her to say that, and she said, "No, I just like you. And you make Mom happy, so I'm happy you're my stepdad." That hit me harder than I expected. I kept a strong face, but inside I was wrecked. In the best way. Watching all the kids play together like one big pack has been a highlight. They've even teamed up to tease my son, who's the only boy and the youngest. It's either hilarious or slightly cruel, depending on the day. But he's got thick skin and a great sense of humor. He rolls with it. Now, what about Megan? We're civil. Honestly, we're on good terms now. She's been putting in the work to rebuild her relationship with Riley. And I was honestly proud when Riley said she might be able to forgive her mom someday. That's huge, considering where they were a year ago. That said, I don't think Megan has truly accepted that we're done. Every now and then, she drops hints. A look. A comment. Something that suggests she's still holding on to the hope of a second chance. She's hit the gym, stayed in therapy, cleaned up her act. And that's great for her. But it doesn't change anything for me. I've made peace with the past. Whether she has or not, that's her problem now. Interestingly, Megan and Amanda have started talking a bit more. They're cordial, at least. But Amanda's still wary, and rightly so. She doesn't forget what Megan did, and she's not quick to trust. Can't blame her. And then there's Tom. Honestly? That guy is a mess. I didn't realize just how full of himself he was until recently. Despite his wealth, he's completely lost. He's dating someone new now, a woman who screams superficial and doesn't hide her disdain for his kids. And they despise her. They're not shy about it either. I don't like her much either. She comes off as self-absorbed and dismissive of the girls, which just makes me respect Amanda even more for keeping her family centered. In conclusion, we're doing better than okay. I had doubts. A lot of them. There were nights when I questioned every decision. But with time, effort, therapy, and love from the people who matter most, we've made something beautiful out of the wreckage. This isn't some fairy tale ending. There's no glittering happily ever after. But we're happy. And sometimes, that's more than enough.